In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to download the Excel shell file for the take-home test using Excel. Excel test take-home. So each week, except for week 1, I have two, chapter 1 and part of chapter 2. The rest of the weeks we'll have one Excel test at the end of each week. So let's look at week 4, for example. Week 4 we have chapter 4, and you click the folder for chapter 4. It has the learning objectives. We already talked about these, and we have the lessons. Remember, before you get to the assessments, you have to complete all the lessons, including working out the problems with videos as the guide. Simply watching the videos is not enough. That does not fulfill the requirement of completing the chapter lessons. So once you have the work done with chapter lessons, then you go into the assessments folder. And assessment folder, you will see the Excel test, take-home test, and then you'll have the online chapter tests. In this video, I'm going to review this part, the tests that you do with Excel. And typically you will see two files. One describes the problems that needs to be worked on the test, and then the shell file with which you need to do the test. And then you need to review this, and I have do's and don'ts in one document that tells you what are the things that you must do and what are the things you must not do. Okay, review those. And then I have the best practices, and the best practices will be applied when I grade the test. So numerical correctness will only count for 50% of the grade. 50% of the grade is about following the best practices in Excel. So they both combined will give you your final grade for the test. So make sure that you understand the best practices, and if you have any questions, you let me know. Okay, you need to review these two, and that's extremely important. All right, so now you go and download the test problems in the document. All right, so if you see the document itself, that's great. Then you go and download it. But sometimes if you're not logged in to the UTC system with your Marks ID, you may see this error. Google Drive, you need permission. Okay, and then you're signed in as whatever. Okay, so these two buttons is what you will see. Don't click the request access because you don't need to. Because I can't do anything except to tell you what I'm going to tell you right now, and that is you click switch accounts. Click that, and that will let you log in. I mean, it will give you another login screen, and you log in with your UTC Marks ID. Once you do that, then you'll be able to see the document. You'll be able to download the document. If you click the request access, okay, it's going to send me an email, and all I can do at that point is to tell you exactly what I said right now. So I'm going to not respond to that, because all you need to do is to just simply click switch accounts, log in with your UTC Marks ID, and you will be good to go. Okay, and then you see this, and then I have the problems. Some of the test problems will be from the back of the chapter in the textbook, and some will be problems that I have made up myself, and then it will also give you the learning activity and the learning objectives covered in each problem and how much each problem is worth. And I've repeated the cautions that I have here. Okay, it's there in the Word document also, and I've also provided a partial answer key for the test for you to make sure that you've done everything correctly. So I have not given answers to all of them, obviously, because this is a test, but I did want to give you some kind of guidance as to make sure that you're doing the problems in the right direction, or you're proceeding in the right direction. So go ahead and download this and save this, and then you have the Excel shell file, and this is an Excel shell file for this particular test, and you have to download it. And when you download it and open, there are a few things that you have to do. Okay, so now you download this. You can open it next, or save it and then open it, or you can just open it directly depending upon how your browser is set up. You need to get that done. So at this point, okay, so it'll tell you you must enable macros before opening the workbook, and you need to click enable editing and then enable macros, right? Both needs to be done. Depending upon how your Excel is set up, you may not see the enable editing. Okay, so click enable editing. Okay, so now it says enable content. So that's your macro warning. Okay, if you don't see this, then there could be a problem. So the way to set the opening conditions up is to go to File, Options, okay, Trust Center Settings. So now you click Macro Settings. Okay, and in macro settings, the optimal setting is disable all macros with notification. So which means if there is a macro, Excel will prompt you, do you want to open the macros or not? Okay, so that gives you a level of control as to whether the macro will get executed or not. So all the others are not optimal. So the first one, disable all macros without notification, means all macros will be disabled and you will not be able to personalize the Excel file, and you won't get any credit at all if you submit that file. Now if you say disable all macros except digitally signed macros, well, digitally the macros that I have are not digitally signed, so again the macro will not work and you'll end up with a file that was not personalized for you, and you'll get 0 credit for the test. The last one is the most dangerous one, which is it'll enable all macros, okay, which means that it'll enable the macros that I have, which is not a problem. But if you have Excel from somebody else, some other context, and if there is a if the macro is not benign, if it's a malicious macro, that will get executed, and you don't want that. So you don't want that. So the optimum is this. Make sure that this is checked and click OK. All right, and then you need to click enable contents. When you click enable contents, you will see this. You will see a place where you need to enter your UTC Marks ID, and I'm just going to enter ID, and then that's wrong student ID because I just entered something. But if you enter the correct ID, then it'll open up all the sheets that you need for doing your test. So if you enter the wrong ID and click OK, everything is gone, and you'll see this problem. Then you have to download a new copy because all the other sheets would have been deleted. You cannot use this file anymore, so you have to download a fresh copy and then use it. Okay, now I'll show you if I put the correct ID, what will happen. So download again, click open. Okay, enable editing and enable content. Okay, so now I enter an ID which is correct for the file. Okay, so now you see it's opened up 3 sheets, and this is where you will do your work. Okay, and again you're not allowed to change the sheet names. Okay, because I need it for grading purposes. You have to have the same sheet names, and you need to follow the problem number. So it says problem number 1, so you do problem number 1 here. Problem number 2, do problem number 2 here. And problem number 3, so you do problem number 3 here, and so on and so forth. Now once you have completed your test, then come back here and click on this link. Okay, so now you need to submit the file using this button. So you browse the file, browse your computer. Say, suppose if this is the file that you want to submit. Okay, so click open. So now the file is attached. Okay, but that's not enough. Then you have to go and click submit. If you don't click submit, then the file will not be uploaded into Blackboard. And also make sure that you're not uploading a temporary file. If there is a tilde before the file name, that means that's not the permanent file. It will not have any information that I'll be able to grade. So make sure that you upload the correct file. So attach the file and click submit. Okay, and then you're done.